Welcome to part 2 of our southwest adventure. It's time now to have a quick look at the route we're taking on this trip. If you've seen part 1, you'll already know that the first day took us down to Ballingup, then Boyanup, then out through the Ferguson Valley, back to Donnybrook, and our first night out at Ironstone Gully Falls. From there we went to Capel, went down to Busselton for a very brief visit, and we then headed inland towards Nannup. Our second campsite was at Cambrai Siding, just north of Nannup. The following day we went into Nannup and then turned northeast and stopped at Wright's Bridge before going to Greenbushes and then down to Bridgetown. From there we turned back towards Nannup and camped at Green's Island. Then it was down to Manjimup and across to Pemberton, and our campsite in that area was at Big Brook. We returned to Manjimup and then headed east down the Muir Highway. We stopped at the Bird Observatory overnight before heading on through Rocky Gully and down to Mount Barker. It was then north up the Albany Highway to Cranbrook and then west to Pararacup Lake, where we spent a couple of very enjoyable nights. Next came Frankland, Unicup, Tone Bridge, Hartley, and finally Jay's Bridge just south of Boyanup Brook. From Boyanup Brook we went to Dinnernup to see the Teapot House, then to Ewland Crossing, Trigwell Bridge, Tower Inning, and then further north to Darken. By this time the trip was in its final few days, and we made our way across the Coalfields Highway to Lake Stockton, Collie, Potter's Gorge, and then finally we had to make our way home. The journey now continues as we have left Ironstone Gully Falls and made our way to Capel for our second day. The small town of Capel is located between Bunbury and Busselton. It's a little bit off the main highway and as such tends to be overlooked by a lot of people passing through the area. European exploration of the area started with Lieutenant Bunbury, who travelled along the Capel River in 1836. The town's name originated with Capel Carter. The only problem with that is there were two Capel Carters associated with the Bussell family, and we were a little bit unclear about which one the town was named after. The original name for the area was Coolingup, but when the town finally started to develop, the official name chosen was Capel. There's a bit of folklore about the area concerning a character called Denny Connell. On one occasion, when he was blowing out tree stumps with gelignite, something went wrong and he lost an eye. Without even mentioning his injury to anyone, Denny apparently walked to Bunbury for medical attention. On another occasion, when Denny was told by his doctor to take some medicine in water, he was said to have waded out into the Capel River to take each dose. On yet another occasion, he was travelling to Perth by train when he lost his much-loved hat out of the window. Unfazed by this, Denny simply marked a cross in the dust on one of the train windows, proclaiming that he would know where to find it on the return journey. Stories like this are part of the fabric of a lot of little towns in WA. From Capel it was a short drive to the much larger town of Busselton. We weren't here to actually have a look around. We've seen Busselton many times, and we'll revisit it properly in a video later on. We were basically here to visit the caravan doctor and get a window clip to repair a back window in the coaster which was causing us trouble. Here's just a few archival shots we took of Busselton on previous visits. Here we are at Cambrai siding. We've been trying to get to this place for a while. We've come down the track a couple of times before, always checking it out before we got here. Turns out there was no real reason to. The track is pretty straight. It's a bit rough in places, but really not that bad, certainly not four-wheel drive territory. Beautiful, great big area here. Plenty of space for people like us who want to park in the sun because we want solar. And shade over the other side there if you need it. Up the top here is where the old railway line used to run. Now it's part of the Mundabiddi Trail. There's two tracks coming in. One's a bit more narrow. The other one is the old rail line, which has a few sleepers on it, but mostly they're pretty buried in the ground, so they're not a major problem to get over. This is part of the Mundabiddi Trail here that runs back down to Cambrai Road, and just at the end of this, down in the corner, you can't see it from here, there's a little bridge crossing the stream. I'm going to go looking for the stream in a minute, see if I can find it. And we'll do a little bit more exploring around here with the bike, just to see what else there is, whether this is it. There may be more sites, I don't know. Very nice spot. This track's heading down towards where the stream might be, so I'm just hoping we find something interesting at the end of this. And here it is. Nice little pool, actually. Never seen this before, so this is the first time I'm getting to look at it. This would be a brilliant campsite for a small vehicle. Easy enough to get in, right by the water. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that this area is worth exploring. You're going to have to come out tomorrow. We're going to stay a couple of nights and have a really good look around here, see what we can find. Maybe a coral vein down here. Something very similar to that anyway. Track runs right along. This is quite a big pool here. Almost as big as Barrabutt Pool, which is not far south of here actually. Okay, there's obviously much more to this site than you can see by just coming in on the main track. There's another little area over here. This is hidden away from everything. You only get to see this as if you're coming along the river track. Oh yes, another very, very good spot. Nice open sights. Goodness, I can't believe there's nobody in here. This is school holidays too. Yet by the sight of the campfire there, this place is definitely known by some people, maybe only locals. They're really going to hate me once this goes up on YouTube. Sorry guys. Okay, looks like we're getting back to Cambrai Road here, and there's a bit of a puddle. Yeah. Pretty sure this is going to be the area where we parked up. I brought the bike down to have a look what was here. So, heading back up the hill there, that's Cambrai Road, heading towards Vass Highway. And the track's heading off to the left. There's actually two, you can only see one here. That's the rail track, the one with the sleepers on it, but as I say, they're pretty well buried in the ground, so it's not that bad to drive down. We went down with the coaster, so if we can get that down it, pretty well everything can get down it. As yet, I don't know where these other tracks go. That's the Mundabiddi Trail. And this is a little river crossing down the bottom here. So that pool is quite significant. The rest of this is just nothing but a little stream. And as you can see, there's still some of the old sleepers in this track. But it was okay to drive over as long as you go slowly. A lot of them are pretty rotten now anyway and are gradually falling to bits. Great majority of them have been removed or just rotted away to nothing. Once we pack the bed up, the coaster is designed so that the bed and the table area are both the same. So once the bed's packed up in the morning, normal breakfast, very simple, cereal or muesli and some tea. Well, here we are at Cambrai Siding, had a really nice relaxing day. Seen some cyclists come down the Mundabiddy Trail over there. Other than that, haven't really done an awful lot apart from try to get a few pictures of birds without much success. Had a little wander around to all the other campsites, made sure we got pictures of them all so we can put them up on the site later on. And as the sun drops down behind the trees and we start to lose our solar, time to put the Weber on, fire it up and make a pizza. We've done a video on how to make pizzas on the Weber once before, so we're not going to go through that again. We'll give you a quick peek at the pizza once we're ready to eat, and that's about it for today. Beautiful relaxing day, bright sunshine, cool enough to be very pleasant here. Nobody else around the whole day virtually, apart from the cyclists coming through and one car that came through looking around the place. Had the whole place to ourselves for the last couple of days. Absolutely beautiful spot. One little tip when you're doing a full-size pizza in a Weber is to just trim the pizza crust off down each edge. That way it doesn't impact on the sides of the lid and you don't get the crust burning so much. And I'll come back in 20 minutes and see how that's gone. Well, here we are 20 minutes later. Should be nice and brown, hopefully, he says. Ah, that looks pretty nice. That's good enough.